You've been everywhere, anything.
Unity platform. We have met a delegation of EU ambassadors. They reached out to us asking for an engagement. They normally do to touch base on a couple of things. So we have had 9 ambassadors, including the head of the EU delegation, his deputy, the ambassador from Germany, Denmark, Austria, Sweden, France, Belgium, and Italy. We have engaged severally. One, we thanked them for the aid that they avail to Uganda from their countries, because they support us in various ways, health, etc., etc. But we cautioned them to follow up, because most of this aid that is sent is stolen by government officials. And so we are entrusting them to keep a keen eye on this money that belongs to their taxpayers, which they send to Uganda, you know, to help out with our healthcare and all of the other areas. You know, it's important that they follow up and they make sure there's value for money, because as you see, corruption nowadays is beginning to skyrocket. So many times even this aid money is stolen. So we've asked them to interest themselves in this issue. But also some of the aid that they send to help and ameliorate Ugandans many times is used to oppress Ugandans, to torment Ugandans. And so we have told them this should be of interest to you, because when you send aid, it is to be able to make Ugandans better in one way or another, really. Yeah, not holistically better, but at least to cushion them in one way or another. But again, the state uses this aid, some of it, to oppress and torment Ugandans. And so we told them, interest yourselves in these issues. We've talked about human rights, because that's an area of interest. We've discussed about many of our supporters that were disappeared to date. No one knows their whereabouts. There are many people that are in jail for a very long time, some 2 years and above, simply because they are our supporters. We've talked about, of course, November 18th and 19th and other times, for no reason but simply because they don't support the sitting government. And we've told them, look, the same way you engage us, you also engage the government. Raise these issues with them, okay? Because we cannot pretend about some of these goings on. You know that you extend support and aid to a regime, but you don't hold them accountable in one way or another, because Uganda is part of the international community. And what that means is that Uganda, like any other country, should be held accountable by the rest of the world. All of us should hold each other accountable. And so what happens in Uganda should interest the rest of the world, not just the West, by the way, but even other African countries. Of course, the challenge with other African countries, you find that they have similar challenges. So the presidents in some of these African countries will fear to hold Mr. Museveni accountable, because they are doing something similar in their countries. So we are saying we are part of the international community. Let's see how we keep holding each other accountable, how leaders treat their citizens. Yeah, we have never and never shall we say, you know, that we want these people to come and run our affairs. No, they are friends of Ugandans, and so we should hear that out in their voices and in what they do. Ultimately, the message to Ugandans is that we are the ones going to liberate ourselves. Nobody is going to come from any country to liberate us as a country. We have got to do that ourselves. Yes, the rest of the world should raise their voices when there is brutality and killings and all of these different things that are happening. They should not be quiet, and that's what we have told the ambassadors. But ultimately, no one is going to liberate us, okay? We have got to do it ourselves. We have got to do the heavy lifting, if you like.